The thing that makes our lava lamps look so cool is the oil pastel blending. I've chosen two colors that are analogous colors, neighbors on the color wheel. I've chosen blue and I've chosen green. Now I'm going to start with one color, and I usually like to pick the darkest color for this, and I'm going to outline one of my freeform shapes with my darker color. So right now I'm just really focusing on staying inside the lines. I do not want my coloring to look sloppy. I want it to look smooth, just like a lava lamp does in real life. So I'm really kind of going back and forth over this outline to make sure that it's nice and bright and thick around my entire shape. Now once I've got it outlined, I'm going to go back and add a second layer of coloring, but this time I'm not going to press quite as hard. So the outline I wanted super thick and bright, but this one I'm kind of just pushing more lightly. But I still have an empty white space in the middle. Now I'm going to take my second color and I'm going to color in the middle, and I am pushing hard again. So I don't want any white space showing. I want that oil pastel to be very thick and bright. Now where the magical blending 3D look starts to happen is when you blend your second color into your first. So now I'm going to color hard again on top of that lighter coloring of blue. So I'm not taking it all the way to the outline, but I am taking it to that second area where I colored lightly. And what's happening is my green and blue are mixing together to sort of create a blue-green color. And I'm just pushing hard, and when you push hard with this second color, it really mixes the two colors together. And making sure there's no white areas. Now that looks pretty good. I might even knock off a little bit of the crumbs so that I can really get a good look at it. Sometimes if I feel like it's not quite three-dimensional enough, I'll take my first color again and add just a little bit more blended into the green, if I think it needs to mix a little bit more. And then sometimes I take the green and go over that again to mix it. When you're happy with one shape, you can move on to your next shapes doing the exact same thing. So you're at the bottom, I'm going to outline that curve with a nice smooth dark line. And then my second line is going to be the lighter coloring. And I'm just going to do that technique for all of my shapes. Make sure that as you're working, you're extra careful not to smear your pastel. If you run your hand across your paper, the color is going to smear into the white areas. Now the very last step, just to make our shapes look even more three-dimensional, is I'm going to take a white pastel, and on the top of each rounded bump, I'm going to put a little tiny curved line. It almost looks like a little, like an apostrophe. So I'm going to put one there, kind of up on the upper right-hand corner of each shape. And it will look like a highlight. You're going to have to push kind of hard when you do this step because you want that white to show up on top of all the other colors that you've made. And then, if you want to, you can wipe off your pastel on some of your white paper scraps, get all that color off. Sometimes I make a few little white lines outlining my shapes. It's sort of like a dashed line. And I know it's a little bit hard to see what I'm doing right now, but when you paint over this area later, these lines are going to show up really well. So make sure that you're very precise with your dashed line on these areas. As you can see, when you paint your lava lamp, these white lines do show up. So you can see I didn't make it a a full line that outlines it. It's just sort of more of a broken dashed line. When all of your freeform shapes are colored in, your lava lamp will be ready to paint.